In short, I sort of stumbled upon pageantry. I Googled it because I wanted to provide exposure for Charities Angels, our nonprofit organization, and the Kidney Project. And so I looked it up, and I was already pursuing the entertainment industry primarily, and I was finishing school at the University of Maryland. And I Googled it, and I entered, and the first time, without really much any training, I was able to make it into the top 5, which I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, newsflash, like you could really do this. So I went back the next year, and I was afforded the title of Miss Maryland USA 2017, which was awesome, and we were able to double our annual fundraising for Charities Angels, and we were able to get on national press, and it was so great. But afterwards, I kind of felt that I didn't really do all of the work that I thought could be done as Miss Maryland USA, and I didn't really plan to continue in pageants, but I also knew that Miss America was the other biggest organization in the field, and that they also had a live telecast on TV. And so I judged on a regional pageant for another organization, and a lady told me that they had extended the age limit for Miss America, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I thought I aged out at the time. So then I ended up just signing up again for Miss Maryland America. So I had a month to put together a talent routine, because that's a huge difference between the two, is that Miss America has talent, whereas Miss USA has swimsuit. So I kind of put that together. I worked really, really hard. I trained for those months, and then somehow I was afforded again the title of Miss Maryland 2018, and then I competed in Miss America. And again, this year has been phenomenal. I'm so excited for the work and the funds and the awareness we've been able to bring to all of the causes that are close to our hearts. In terms of being misjudged, I've learned a lot, especially because I didn't start out doing pageants at a young age. I just started only 2.5 years ago. It's coming up on my year 3 in the industry. And I thought back in the day that girls were obviously beautiful and maybe they were qualified, but I didn't understand, because all I ever saw was Miss USA on TV and the bikinis. And I was a former competitive cheerleader, a Division I athlete at the University of Alabama. So I was like, no, like athleticism is my thing. That's totally what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. But then I had a crazy injury, surgery, Tommy John surgery on my elbow, which then had me kind of refigure out what I wanted to do with my life. I ended up starting to pursue entertainment and really focusing on Charities Angels, the nonprofit I started with my mom. We're a group of women, and we throw 4 to 5 fundraisers, parties, what have you, throughout the year for other causes close to our hearts. So I wanted to bring awareness to that, and that's why I then entered. So I didn't know anything about pageants. I didn't know the type of women that were involved. I didn't know that they offered scholarship money. I didn't know that it was actually a full-time contract and a full-time job where you would then have the whole year to dedicate to represent your state. I just had no idea of the actual logistics of what I was auditioning for. I thought it was just to wear a shiny crown or to walk around and take photos and do photo shoots. So once I was really involved is when I realized that all of the women that were standing beside me were very like-minded and goal-driven and trying to do things out of the box. And they needed to be Miss Maryland for their own pursuits and to further their own pursuits. They weren't just doing a pageant to win a crown and sash or a photo shoot, or to then be considered more glamorous or a princess or have recognition in front of their peers. It's always been about the service, and I was just such an outsider that I didn't even know about it. So now that I've been so involved, it's such a blessing that I actually had my injury in the past, and I was able to kind of refocus and understand that I think the purpose placed on my life is larger than I used to think it was, and that I can use Charities Angels as my platform to further all of the causes that are close to us. And pageantry is another stepping stone that has allowed me to do that.